My name is Moses Freeman Jr. I was named after my father, who was a musician back in the day of Bessie Smith. He was a piano player. He was also an artist. But me, I was just his kid. My mother died when I was 2. My father was left with the responsibility because he eventually remarried, but he was my life. And he brought me up to live in a segregated society, which was the number one thing I think in my life. Until I was in mid-adulthood, I lived in a segregated world, which was very punishing. By the time I was in 5th grade, I had been beaten up by the police for nothing excepting that I walked down the street with a group of small white boys who were my age. And he wanted me to know that I wasn't supposed to do that. And he knocked me off my bicycle and put his foot in my chest and told me he never wanted to see me do that again. And I had a bicycle, and I rode that bicycle around that area for months out of fear that I would run across him. And I was so afraid to tell my dad, because my dad was such that if I was involved in any kind of altercation, fight, or whatever, he normally punished me whether I was right or wrong, because he didn't want me to be one of those fighters kind of a person. So I never told him. In fact, I never told anyone until I was an adult that this happened to me, out of fear and also out of pride, I guess, as time went on. But it had a prevailing feel to my life whenever I saw policemen, whenever I came in contact with them, I was always afraid. Of course, when I was 21, after I finished college, I got beat up by a group of policemen who took me out in a field and pushed me around and hit me in the back and the chest and carried on. That's because I told them that I had been a part of the civil rights movement, the sit-in demonstrations in Nashville, Tennessee. And they were going to punish me for it. And they hit me in my eye and then they quit. And they drove me around all night, put ice on my face and everything, but they still made me come to court. And I had to go to court for nothing that I had done. And people told me that black leaders at the time told me not to say anything, because if I did, I would never get a job in the city of Chattanooga again. And so it's something that I held in forever. I wanted them to do something, because I had just come out of the civil rights struggle in Nashville, and I thought we should be doing something like that. But they said, no, you gotta work here, you gotta live here, you need a job. So we don't wanna get you started on the wrong track. And that's what I did. My whole life was influenced by that, and I was very active in the civil rights movement here in Chattanooga. I knew a lot about Chattanooga. I had grown up on the west side of town in the college, what is now called the College Hill Courts. Well, that's what it was called then. It's called Projects now, but it was the College Hill Courts back then, and we were surrounded by ghettos. The project was a good place to live. I stayed there for like 20 years. And we didn't move out until I was graduating from college. And I never had a key to our house because it was never locked. We never needed a key to get in or out. No one else ever needed a key to get in and out. People came in and out of our house. And I was a paper boy. My picture's on the mural down the street, there on the back side of the 10th Street side of it. But I was a paper boy from like 5th grade all the way until the 11th grade. And delivered papers all over the west side and down M.L. King Boulevard. So I know about all the places down here in the heyday. Chattanooga was always a manufacturing town, and plants used to work 3 shifts. And so there was never a time when things were dead. First of all, I applaud the movement today, just because it's a movement. In my day, we had limited horizon. So our demands were based on living conditions that we had. Just getting buses integrated, just getting a job in a place where we couldn't work before, just being able to buy stuff, be treated, go into a restaurant and eat. I mean, those were big things to us. And to us, that's what we thought would have brought full rights and freedoms to everybody, to black, that would do it. But apparently it didn't. And in hindsight, you can see where it left a lot of gaps and holes. And young people today never experience the things we experience. So their horizon jumps out way ahead of us, where it should be. The things that we were asking for already exist. So we've like built a step or two. And now another step is being taken. Another 2 or 3 steps are being taken. And they're more conceptual, they're more idealistic, they're more on target, that will make a major difference. So the movement today has the potential to be far greater than any civil rights movement that I was ever a part of. And the ones that before me. Now, I compared myself to be better than the ones that took place in the 20s, you know, in the 1920s, or during the middle of Jim Crow, and then mine came up in my generation. Now the ones that's coming now. My prayer is that I get to live a long time to see and to witness and to be a part of what is going on now, and also to be in a position where I can support it.